Every single day, violent crimes explode across cities in America, sometimes right where you'd expect it the least. You might think you're safe, but the truth is, danger may be closer than you realize. And if you're planning your next trip or thinking about where to live, understanding where danger lurks is more important than ever. But this isn't about scaring you, it's about facing the facts head on. That's why here at The Big Picture, we're going straight to the source. Digging into the latest FBI crime stats, homicides, assaults, robberies, you name it. We've broken down the numbers to reveal the 10 most dangerous cities in the United States. Some of the names will shock you. Others, you've sadly heard before. But we're not just reading headlines, we're going deeper. What's really going on in these cities? And what, if anything, is being done to stop the transgression? Let's find out. Stockton, California. A city once full of promises, now weighed down by harsh realities. Bankruptcy, foreclosures, evictions. A city stretched thin. With violent crime and homicides happening on almost every street, life here can turn dangerous in the blink of an eye. And much of the bloodshed traces back to gang activity, especially in the city's South Side neighborhoods. Property crimes aren't far behind either. Over 3,700 incidents per 100,000 people. However, programs like Operation Ceasefire have chipped away at the violence, offering hope where it's desperately needed. But with the cost of living rising and housing stability still out of reach for many, Stockton remains one of the most dangerous cities in America. Next, we have Little Rock, Arkansas. Despite its southern charm and rich history, this city is grappling with violent crime rates that remain disturbingly high. Property crimes have surged as well, with nearly 6,600 incidents per 100,000 people, including a disturbing rise in home invasions. That's not just high, it's epidemic. Gun violence and gang activity cast a constant shadow, especially over low-income neighborhoods. Daylight robberies and assaults disrupt lives, fueling fear where safety should be a given. The Little Rock Police's focused deterrence program has helped reduce gun violence a bit. But the people know that real change means improving education, offering more mental health support, and rebuilding trust in their neighborhoods. However, in Cleveland, Ohio, change isn't coming fast enough. Cleveland is famous for its legendary Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, vibrant food scene, and world-class medical centers. It draws millions every year with its character and culture. But beneath the surface, Cleveland struggles with a darker reality. Here, violent crimes reach staggering levels, with close to 23 homicides per 100,000 residents. And because of economic decline, job loss, and poverty, property crimes have increased, leaving many feeling unsafe in their own homes. But thanks to Cure Violence, neighborhood watch groups, and other programs, the city's homicide rate has actually decreased in recent years, a sign that change is possible. And at number 7, we have Monroe, Louisiana. It may be small in size, but its crime rates tell a much bigger story. With violent crime on the rise and assaults happening more and more, Monroe is facing a serious safety problem. Property crimes are also a big issue, with nearly 6,800 incidents for every 100,000 people. While the homicide rate is lower than in most cities, it still remains a concern. And as the social and economic hub for northeastern Louisiana and southeastern Arkansas, Monroe carries the weight of a struggling region. But isolation from larger cities leaves Monroe vulnerable. Its economy has been depressed for decades, with scarce jobs fueling desperation and crime. Also, the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina brought an influx of displaced people, some tied to gang activity, increasing local conflicts. And that's not all. Corruption and underfunded law enforcement also complicate efforts to restore safety. Still, community programs like Monroe County Cares and youth outreach initiatives strive to break the cycle through education and support. But without sustained investment in housing, jobs, and mental health services, Monroe's fight against violence remains an uphill battle. Just like Monroe, another city that's shaped by struggle, Oakland, California. But while its cultural heartbeat remains strong, crime continues to shadow its streets. Violent crime is a serious problem here, and homicides happen more often than you'd think. Assaults are also very common. If that weren't enough, the city faces a high rate of car theft, especially in dense urban areas, with over 1,100 vehicles stolen for every 100,000 residents. On top of that, turf wars and rising homelessness make these problems even harder to fix. Yet Oakland is pushing back. Reform programs are bringing police and community voices together to reduce shootings and other crimes. Today, Oakland isn't just surviving, it's actively reshaping its future, despite the odds stacked against it. Moving on to number 5, Baltimore, the most populous city in Maryland. It's known for its iconic row houses and bustling ports. However, for many Baltimoreans, daily life isn't about the waterfront views, but about surviving the violence. Here, violent crimes happen a lot, and the number of homicides is shockingly high. Assaults and property crimes are even more common, and they are driven by ongoing struggles with poverty and long-standing systemic neglect. Besides these, the opioid epidemic and gun violence still tear through neighborhoods already struggling with slow emergency responses. But Baltimore refuses to surrender. Programs like Safe Streets put community members on the front lines, working to stop violence before it starts. Also, trauma-informed care in schools offers hope to the next generation. Next, Memphis, a city of firsts. It's home to the nation's first African-American congregation and its first African-American millionaire. It's also the birthplace of rock and roll. Yet beneath this vibrant history and culture, Memphis faces serious safety challenges. With violent crime and homicides happening on nearly every corner, the city struggles to protect its people. In addition to that, theft and break-ins are quite severe, hitting over 6,400 incidents per 100,000 people. Some blame poverty. Others point to underfunded schools and repeat offenders as the main reasons behind the ongoing violence. And gun violence continues to pose a serious threat. Not to mention, many residents have deep mistrust toward law enforcement. Still, grassroots efforts such as Operation Safe Community are striving to bring peace and opportunity. But progress is painfully slow, and violence is still a part of everyday life in Memphis. Next, we have Birmingham. The Birmingham area serves as the headquarters to Fortune 500 giants like Regions Financial and Vulcan Materials Company, and many Fortune 1000 companies. Yet beneath this economic success, safety remains uncertain here. The city's violent crime rate stands high. Its homicide rate is also alarming, nearly 42 per 100,000 people. Assaults happen often, making people feel unsafe all the time. On top of that, property crimes far exceed the national average. Gang violence and serious unemployment fuel these crimes. Not to mention, access to essential services is limited in some areas, making things even worse. But change is underway. The Birmingham Promise job training program, youth outreach efforts through street ministry, and other such initiatives aim to create safer, stronger communities. Even with these efforts, Birmingham is still a city where opportunity and risk exist side by side. Following Birmingham, we head to the shadow of the Gateway Arch, St. Louis, Missouri, a city with skyline pride and deep community roots, but also one grappling with some of the worst violence in America. St. Louis has a serious problem with violent crime, but that's not even the worst part. What's even more troubling is its murder rate, a little above 60 per 100,000 people. It's the highest among major U.S. cities. And this crisis hits hardest in the North City neighborhoods, where violence is a daily reality. Assaults and carjackings are also horrifyingly common, while property crimes remain well above the national average. Generational poverty, racial segregation, and years of neglect have turned certain blocks into danger zones. The Cure Violence STL program and Urban League's Save Our Sons are working to shift the tide. But for many, safety is still a distant promise. And at number 1, we have a city of grit, soul, and sharp contrasts. Detroit, Michigan. While parts of downtown are experiencing a cultural and economic revival, much of the city is still caught in a daily battle with crime. With a violent crime rate of over 2,000 per 100,000 residents and a homicide rate nearing 39, Detroit consistently ranks among the most dangerous cities in the U.S. Assaults are alarmingly frequent, and property crimes and auto theft are widespread. Additionally, the Detroit Police Department faces chronic underfunding, and slow 911 response times only add to residents' frustrations. But Detroit doesn't go down easily. Detroit Youth Violence Prevention Initiative and Life Builders are stepping up to change the city's fate. They're offering mentorship, job training, and a shot at something better for the city's youth. It's an uphill climb, but Detroit's fight isn't over, not by a long shot. Now, what ties these dangerous cities together? Poverty, inequality, broken trust in law enforcement, and failing schools. But change can happen. From youth programs to community policing, people are fighting back. Sure, these cities face big challenges, but there's hope too. So have you lived in one of these cities? Share your story with us. And if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe and stay aware.